What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the next video in learning Laravel. My name is Curious Danny and you guys are watching my channel Cryowood. Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about the controller, and before we continue, you guys make sure you guys go ahead and fire up your Laravel, and you guys need to put it here, PHP artisan serve, to start your Laravel. Alright, so in this video we're going to show you guys how to we're going to create a controller. As now you're going to ask me, but you show us how to create a controller. We've seen how do we create our controller with say for example CRUD. We have an index, we have a login dashboard, whatever, and if you look in here we have created our manager controller, and here we have created our students controller. You can create any kind of controller, but what I haven't been showing you guys with the plain, and you guys don't know with we haven't seen with resource. But so far if you've seen here, we have created controller, but it's just a skeleton controller. So you guys gonna see this one used to be, we used to issue command with just a plain. So we used to do PHP artisan, and we used to make, and we put a controller, and for example if it's example controller, we used to put a plain. So the plain, this plain used to come here, that's exactly here with nothing here. So that's like this, like if you guys remove everything, it used to be like this with nothing inside. But nowadays, because Laravel they don't put this one, they put a standardized display. So what you guys do, every time you create your controller, you're going to see this only few lines, only 4 lines. But that was the history, and Laravel has evolved and has updated a lot of commands. And nowadays, if you guys want to see, say for example the full CRUD, as I said, if you want to see the say index, if you want to see index method, say for example our store method, for example our update method, for example update, our show method, for example, you guys need to issue resource. So if you put a resource with your controller, you're going to see all of this. Alright, so if you want to see, we're going to see how we're going to create a resource. For example, we're going to come and say social controller, for example. So if you're going to come and we put a control C to stop our, as I said, you can create another command prompt, and you can for your controllers, but we can do this way as well, that's quite fine. Alright, so now we get out, we can put a control C, and we are out of our Laravel. So we issue command of PHP artisan, and we put a make, and that's controller, and we put a social controller. Okay, so if, as I said, if you in the previously, if you do like wanted to just skeleton, you guys used to do plain. But now if you guys want to see index, show, store, or delete, whatever, if you want to see CRUD wise, then you guys need to put a resource. So if you put a resource, and if you got press enter, and you're going to see that our social controller has been created. So we're going to put a PHP artisan server back online, and if you look in here, we have you can see all your methods here. The first one is the index, and that's the index of our class, controller class, and you're going to see the create method, and you're going to see the request method, store, and you're going to see the show. And as I said at the beginning of this course, that in order for us to show, say for example show product, then we're going to ask which product. And when it comes to which in your mind, then you need to put an ID here. And say for example edit, now you're going to see which product I edit, or which user. Our same with update. With the update, you guys need the request, and you guys need the ID. So with the destroy, you guys need the ID, because if you want to destroy the product or category, whatever, you need an ID. And with the update, because you guys need the request as well, and you guys need to call request and response. That's Laravel is going to do that for you. But if you notice here, with the create, you guys don't need, because you don't need to create a which product. You just create a product, or you let the user to product create. Or with the index, you guys don't need an ID, but you need an ID. If you with the store, you don't need, but we know you with the show, with the update. Say with the edit, edit is the same as update. You can see with the edit, with the update, with the edit, you guys need the ID. The last, but here, if you look here, the last, this one destroy and delete is the same, because it's going to destroy. So that's why we're going to create with the resource, as previously seen here in our videos. When we created manager, we don't see any of these resource here. Alright, so how we gonna pass an ID, for example, with the show, for example, because the show has an ID, and if we return and we put this is coming from the show method, say for example in show method from social controller. So we put some sort of mechanism to see that some sort of message that this is actually coming from our social controller. Alright, so if you guys go ahead and put a route, and we put a get, and we put a, say for example, social, and now you guys are gonna put a, say, ID. If you look in here, we have an ID here, then you have to put an ID here. So what is the controller? The controller is a social controller, so we put a social controller, and you guys can put a at, and you guys gonna put which one, which show. So we put a show, and that's about it. And you can put a, for example, in the show, if you want to see the ID, you can change this one, or you can put echo and put some sort of nice ID. Say for example, the user ID, is, for example, and then you put a concatenation operator, and then you put an ID. And if you want to put a break, then you're going to see the next line. Just put a BR, then you'll be able to see this line as well. So if you control save all, so if you put it here, social, if you want to see ID, then you'll be able to see ID, because the route, as soon as it encounters this social, then it looks for ID, then looks for controller, social controller, and then look for the social method. So here we have a social method, and it's gonna come here, and it's gonna show you the ID, whatever ID you guys gonna put. So we're gonna refresh, and we put a social, and I put an ID of say 100, and you guys gonna see that user ID is 100. This is coming from the social method, social controller. Sorry for the typo. You can do it this way. So this is how we pass the data to the controller. So that's what we have, a controller. Alright, so in order for us to pass data, I'm going to explain to you guys again. So if you want to pass data here, we have put a social, and we have put 100 here. This is our data, the 100, because if you want to see the data for the user ID, or for example, if you want to see 200, you're going to see 200 here. This is called passing the data to the controller. And in order for us to do this, and here you guys make sure first to begin with, we create our controller. Secondly, then once your controller created, you guys can go ahead and you guys can here with your controller, you guys can put a say whatever you want to do. You guys can put an ID, or if you guys want to display this method, or if you want to find out the user ID, you guys can do it with edit, you guys can do it with update. It's up to you guys. Can do it with say for example destroy. If with the ID, you guys can do with any of this method. And here you guys need to create your route, and here we have a social URI, and here we have a ID, and we are calling this controller, which is here, and the method is show. And what the show has an ID. But if you do index, and if you don't put index here, you're going to get an error, because we don't have any parameter. Parameter is something that comes here inside these two parentheses. That's called parameter. So that's what here. And here now we're going to see here that we have seen the message, and the both message coming from the met controller. So the controllers here, and that's what the both message is coming from the controller. So that's how we're going to pass the data to the controller. So if someone asks you how we're going to pass the data to the controller, and that's the process for us to put the data in the controller. And keep in mind, in the future videos, we're going to come here, and we're going to put a pass the middleware here to our controller. And from here we can even pass the data to the view as well. So we can do that. Keep in mind, you can do a lot of cool stuff with this controller. We can come in the future videos. Once we get very advanced, then I'm going to show you how we're going to pass the middleware here to the controller constructor. And that's a little bit advanced, and slowly we're going to get there. And then we're going to go ahead, and in the future videos we're going to see view, how we're going to pass the data to the view. Alright, so this video is about making controller. So you guys gonna see here in the previously in the past I used to put my controller plane for plane just a skeleton controllers, and you can do the resource to see all of these controllers. So we put a resource, and you're going to see here, if you guys can see easily the difference, you can spot the difference between this one, which is a plane, and this one with the resource. It means it's a flow of resources. So you're going to see all your methods. So this is a complete methods. And keep in mind, this is not the only one. So we call it CRUD, create, read, update, and delete. We can create more than that. Say for example, you can create your own custom one. Say for example, we can put a public, we can put a function, say login, or you can put a register, or you can put a storefront, or put a payment, or you can do anything you guys like. But as long as you guys remember this function, what the function is going to do, and as long as if you guys want to return something. So that's about it, guys. And keep in mind, with each of these you guys can create your page. So all of these methods, you guys can create some sort of page here. You guys can render the page here in the views. You guys can render the page with all of this method. So in a professional programming, when you guys going to create a product page, the index one always going to responsible. Say for example, we're going to come return, and we do view, and it's going to be responsible for the main page of the product, or the main page of the users. So this return view is going to render here whatever you guys are going to put it here. So that's how we do with the methods. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe Cryowood. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.